Stuart, you remember Johnny Carson, David
Yeah,
Letterman? Those guys were
yeah.
funny. Those
They
guys
were
were
really
good.
funny. Yeah.
Good for a few laughs. Paraded a bunch of people out on their stage. We laughed hard. Carson was out for years, and then you had Dave, and you had others, and it was funny. And while sometimes politics crept in, and Johnny Carson did a great Nixon at the time, and I'm dating myself here a lot. It was a funny show that people looked forward to. But unfortunately, Stuart, what ends up happening is like everything else, the entertainment industry can't help itself and has to copy and replicate and copy and replicate. And it ended up creating a bunch of these shows that over time, post Jay Leno, post David Letterman, wasn't funny anymore, or only to a certain sect of people. Because from 2017 or 2016 to 2021, and then most recently, Donald Trump was the only joke that they could deliver because there were no laughs. People weren't watching. People were tired. And most recently, the end of the Stephen Colbert show that is now scheduled for May of 2026, Stuart, not tomorrow, May of 2026. It isn't not just funny, it's ridiculous of what the left has treated this as. A potentially the dismantling of our Constitution. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rant Network. Stuart is finally back, though his internet is working. I'm David Solomon. We are the Rant Network, where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, we do this shit. Absurdities of modern life, ranting about stuff that really just makes no freaking sense at times. We are here. We're very proud to say we're unedited, uncensored, unfiltered, and totally unapologetic. We enjoy doing this because we love to bring out the stupidities that people are dealing with on a daily basis that, you know what? It's going to make you go, what the? So sit back, folks, today because we just want to show you another degree of absurdity. So, Stuart, Stephen Colbert announced his show is being canceled by CBS. And I said it, May of 2026.
Hmm.
And
I get a birthday present. I get a
yeah,
birthday.
good for you. And the comment was the only reason that Colbert is being canceled is of politics. Imagine that, Stuart. A lefty, woke talk show host blaming Trump for his show being canceled. Stu, the left gone crazy again.
Oh boy, and you gave me an easy introduction. Maybe some of you remember, profit and losses. Once upon a time, a show went on TV based off of the commercials that it was able to sell, and it got money based off of viewership. Seems rather elementary that a business would need to operate off of revenue based. Well, in a communist country, channels don't work off revenue base, they work off propaganda base. How much propaganda are we piping into the population? So you had a station like PBS that was being funded by the US government in its entirety, where it basically was a losing operation promoting a specific message from a specific party. Now, the late night show, which began in the 80s with David Letterman, and yes, David Letterman was and still is left of center. However, he started this show as a funny, kick in the ass kind of comedy run that eventually ended up in the hands of Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert's, again, David Letterman had everyone on his show, from the monkey trainer, lion trainer, because we all love the pets that he put on, from his pencils that he tossed into the top of the ceiling, to stars around the world, dignitary stars, unique personalities. Well, Stephen Colbert, the deaf kid in one ear, literally was incapable of bolstering anyone of any substance to come on his show. And so, as a last pure ploy on trying to save himself and his $40 million net loss run, Now, net loss run doesn't include all the expenses. That's just the superficial ones that we are addressing, not the production, not the pre, not the post, but that show run at a $40 million loss. Now, I don't know about you, but what network can afford to run a $40 million loss on 1 hour television when the host can't get anyone to come up and show on his stage except politicians? In fact, Stephen Colbert had more politicians in his single hour of television to almost any other network except Fox News. Believe it or not, Stephen Colbert beat CNN on politicians, on one-on-one interviews. That is insane if you think about it. Now, Sunny Hostin is on The View. She's ripping this apart as a conspiracy theory. But you want to know something? The View may be next, because what the left is starting to realize that our 1960 Democrats, early 1970 Democrats, is that these people are literally taking the airwaves to a propaganda level seen only in Russia, Cuba, Argentina, China, North Korea. And you know what? That slow pendulum that pushed over to one side, yes, you know what? Maybe Donald Trump kicked CBS in the nuts for doing something that was wrong. You know what? They deserved it. And you know what? Maybe the executives and the board of directors said, maybe we got to put a sacrificial lamb out there. And Stephen Colbert has a losing show. You know, Stephen Colbert, you're just a loser. Pack it up, call it a day, find a job. You got a year. And May 2026, you just gave me, CBS, the best birthday present almost that a man could ask for at age 55 almost. David, Sunny Hostin, I wish, is next with Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
You know, those two are clowns. And, you know, these people who walk around as liberal elitists, here's what I'm proposing. I want to take away their security. I want to take away their preferential treatment and treat them like everyone else in the country. They're just ordinary folk people. They're there to entertain me. They're not there to give me the news. Well, actually, I could say the news, like CNN, MSNBC, have become like the Late Show, except David Letterman, who had a little bit more class, just seems to have gone away to the dodo birds.
You know what, Stuart? I got to tell you, to me, this is just a big joke. But this is, again, the left losing its mind, and the left continue to realize that people don't want to hear this. Now, Stephen Colbert, you're right. By the way, he used to have a show on the Comedy Channel. He was a pretend Republican, and he couldn't wait to get rid of that show. It was a paycheck, and he pretended. But the night Obama won, you saw his face, how ecstatic he was. You saw his true side, and we got it. Okay, we got it. But you know what, Stuart? I got to tell you something. Here's the reality. Okay, if I run a business and I have an employee, and the employee doesn't deliver what I need that employee to deliver, I got to change the employee. It doesn't make a freaking difference whatsoever about politics or about other things. Nope. There's a delivery. Now, is every show on CBS super profitable? Like, let's say, the Super Bowl? Heck no. And are you going to cancel shows like the Oscars, the Emmys? Probably not. But you know, CBS, for example, lost the National Football League for many, many years. And then they paid to get it back because they realized it's how lucrative. These are business moves, people. Business. And yet, when the left doesn't get what they want, they need to find the reason, because it can't be real. It can't be logical. It has to be a conspiracy. And when you see guys who go off the rails, for example, former ESPN and MSNBC host Keith Olbermann is one of those examples. He went off the rail, like so hard left, so hard woke. They keep giving him a microphone, but he can't keep a job because people tell him, listen, dude, if you don't deliver, and we need ratings, you said it, ratings brings advertisers, which brings profit. You don't deliver the ratings as a host, you don't have a job.
Yep.
It's that freaking simple. But no, like the lift can't do it. So Sunny Hostin, who you brought up, has lost her mind because she's concerned it's political. It's political. Every decision that doesn't work for her is political. She says this. If it's very clear, if it's political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our constitution. And she's looking for people to really say to her, "Yes, Sonny, you're right," because you're right. She thinks maybe she's next. It's not about your politics. It's about ratings. And if you want to continue to say I am being, accosted. Now, listen, Seth Meyers and all these other ones, Jimmy Kimmel, they're all going, "Oh no. Oh no." And they all ran to his show to show his solidarity for him and show him that we're on your side and this, that, and the next thing. Now, one of the funniest thing that Sonny Hostin said, Stuart, this is hilarious. If he's worried about it bothering the First Amendment, and that could you imagine if freedom to speak truth to power? She goes, listen to this. Sorry, the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is a freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If it is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. What did you do to anybody who made fun of Biden? What did you do when you made comical remarks about you on the left? It's such a hypocrisy. It's such nonsense. You've gone crazy, lady. You all have gone nuts. You don't realize you of all. I mean, even Senator Warren and Bernie Sanders, they're all screaming. And it's the same lefty loser. Hold on. Oh, whoa. It's the same progressive losers who are continuously yelling the same crap, and people are saying enough.
But David, you actually honed in on a point. I called it communist media. These politicians are used to getting their way because they have people promoting their ideology. Mm-hmm. And instead of it being promoted by the people, it's being promoted by these politicians who are relying on the networks in their organization to promote this insanity. And when you start removing that freedom of being able to use other people's money to promote your political agenda, that's where their whole world starts caving in.
Absolutely.
When the media starts showing what really is going on the planet, they lose. Elizabeth Warren, the little Pocahontas, still is never come to terms with the fact that she lied. Mondami, he lied. They're a band of liars and losers that have no other way except to allow a media that supports them and they support to survive symbiotically. It's the only way it exists.
But think about it from this perspective, okay? Because I know you like to pick on people. I'm not picking on it. I'm going after the facts here. CBS made a business decision. Now, here's the thing which people are not really paying attention to. If CBS really wanted to cut Stephen Colbert, they would have done it this fall. They've cut shows. Why are you going to throw away another 40? Think about it. Why would CBS throw away another $40 million to keep Colbert on air? Because that's what they're doing here, right? They gave him a runway to get off, but it wasn't good enough, Stuart. Okay? Colbert's job, he lost his job. Maybe he'll have to go sell pencils on the street for all I know, but he lost his job and he's crying. When you lose your job, you get 2 weeks notice. You might just get fired. He got how many months? Come on, baby. Stop with the whining. Stop with the crying, because once again, you're showing progressives on the left that if you don't get what you want, stomp your feet, whine and cry, bitch until it's nonsensical, Stuart. That, my friend, is where the radical left is taking America.
I got a conspiracy. The View is a bunch of old maids rambling on, and it's all women. I now have the new member of the View. His name is Stephen Colbert.
Well, anyways, I whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Stuart's played the music again. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll catch you again on Friday. Please click on our links and join us in all our channels, therentnetwork.com, YouTube channel. We love you. Catch you Friday.